Welcome in Space Coast Daily. Zach Clark here at the Space Coast Daily TV studios here in Cocoa, Florida. We are in for quite a treat here today where I got a special guest, Mr. Terry Parks, the Sports Commissioner of the Space Coast Office of Tourism. Terry, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
Beautiful weather we're having out here right now.
Yes, it is.
We'll take it when we can here in Florida, right? So we're going to talk about a couple things here today, and one of them is going to be a highlighted event that's this weekend, Terry, that you're going to shed a little bit more details on. And it is, we got some big name schools that are coming down here today or this weekend. The University of Tennessee and the University of Louisville rowing teams are going to be in town. And I'm going to have you talk a little bit more about this event, what can we expect, and how the whole genesis of this happened. So let's talk a little bit about this. And what is this event that we have this Saturday?
Absolutely. It's just going to be a scrimmage of, like you said, the University of Louisville and the University of Tennessee. They come down quite often to train. Mm-hmm. So we've taken it upon ourselves to kind of make it an event, being that we are making a push in the rowing sport, trying to recruit more teams to come down to the Space Coast during their training periods of their schedules to enjoy the weather, the beaches, some of the local attractions that we have to offer here. So it's going to be Saturday. This upcoming Saturday from 10:30 to about 12 o'clock noon approximately. Okay. And what it's going to look like, they'll be in the Barge Canal. They'll start on the west end and finish right there near Dolphins, our restaurant. Now, I've heard a couple of different ways because, again, it's very informal. It's not like this is a formal sanctioned event. Right. This is what it is. It's a training session. It's a scrimmage. So they can go down west to east, then turn around and start another race going back west, So the biggest thing is that they're getting reps in, they're getting training in, people are getting some work while they're here. We'll have some people, some local, there's people from the community that come down and speak, from the rowing community rather, coming and speaking. There will be row teams from Orlando, from down south coming up. Some of them include recruits that these schools are recruiting. That's one thing. If you're down here in Florida, you might as well invite people to come in and watch you in person. So, and we'll also be able to hear from each of the head coaches as to why they choose the Space Coast to come in and do their training.
Yeah. We're very excited for this event. It's not a sport that I don't think that we've here at Space Coast Daily that we've covered too much in terms of live coverage, but which is going to be streamed live on Space Coast Daily TV. That will begin at 10 o'clock. We'll start coverage at 10 o'clock, and the rowing is going to start at about 10:30. We'll talk a little bit more about that here in just a little bit. But this is a great event, and like you mentioned, this community and Florida Tech actually has won national titles in events like this. So there is an audience, and there is a lot of people who do a lot of this competitively, and I think it will be good for a lot of people in this community that maybe have not seen it up close like this before, see it in action, and seeing some of the top athletes in the country and in the world compete in a great exhibition.
That's right. And don't feel alone, Zach, because until this past 2 or 3 weeks, I have not spoken to anyone in any particular rowing clubs whatsoever. But I've spoken to Sebastian's row club. I've been down there to Canal 54 to watch their season opening regatta. I've spoken to Melbourne High School. In fact, I had the pleasure of speaking to them to sort of offer some inspiration and encouragement on their season. And then the Space Coast crew, I've also met with that bunch over in Oars and Paddles in Indian Harbor Beach. So, again, it seems like there is an audience there. There is an opportunity. So why not broadcast it to the world and show people why teams come here to train?
Well, we talked a little bit about why these teams are coming here. Let's talk a little bit about what makes this in your estimation and in your words, what makes rowing special compared to other sports? What makes it unique?
Well,
why rowing?
The rowing, to be honest with you, the long, straight, protected waterways that we possess, it makes it very, very attractive for rowing teams to come down here. On top of that, most of these rowing teams are coming from the Atlantic, the Northeast, the Midwest, so they're trying to get away from that cold during the weather. So
I used to live up north, so I totally understand what that feels like.
Exactly. So if you have an opportunity to come in for a week or two,
Yeah.
and get some training in, why not come to the Space Coast? You know, we have the sunny beaches.
Yeah.
Like I spoke to earlier, the straight, long, protected waterways.
Yeah.
We have a variety of restaurants here. We have shopping, and you may even get a chance to see a rocket launch while you're here. So we have other things. We have things other than our waterways to offer anybody looking to escape the cold climate and to come to a warmer area during this time of the year.
And you can get a great workout too doing it too. You see some of these athletes in motion and rowing. I mean, it takes a lot of shoulder back strength to be able to, do what they do.
Right. And leg strength.
And leg strength, yes.
And definitely leg strength. I've been on a couple of those machines, rowing machines. I've never been on water. I can't tell you that every group that I've gone to visit within the last couple of weeks, they always invite me to come out and train, and I will one day. This is, because I've always wanted to row.
Okay.
Since I saw my first rowing competition about 4 or 5 years ago, I started looking into it and say maybe I could do this for fun and leisure. I'm not an athlete.
Right.
I'm not a competing athlete
Right,
anymore.
right.
So I'm always looking for something that's low impact, not like basketball. That's why I don't play basketball anymore. So
Right.
I've gone to golf. So I'm now looking for something else to also do.
Okay. Maybe we'll get you and me. We'll get in a couple kayaks and we'll race down to the barge canal.
There we
too.
go, and we'll put it on pay-per-view. We'll charge $50 to sign up, and we'll see what we can do.
That's high quality entertainment on Space Coast Daily TV too. So, you mentioned these teams, and just re-highlight this again. Where are these teams going to begin racing, and where's the finish line going to be?
Okay, they'll start. I don't know exactly. I know it's going to be on the east side. I apologize if I said west, but they're going to start on the east end of the canal. Then they'll come under the bridge.
Okay.
And they'll culminate there, right around where the restaurant, where Dolphins is,
Okay.
on the property of Cape Crossings Resort and Marina.
Okay. That can be a pretty busy time on a Saturday morning. Is that going to? How does that work with other traffic that'll be going through the barge canal? Is that is the barge canal going to be closed?
To be honest with you, I'm not certain. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure they've made arrangements
Okay.
to keep traffic out of there during their training time, so I could see it being safe.
Yeah,
So-
and I think a lot of people may wonder, like, how long is this race going to take? I mean, it doesn't take real long. It's a couple minutes.
Right.
So it'll be done pretty quickly. And we
Right.
got how many races we got going?
Anywhere between 6 to 8.
Okay.
6 to 8, and then typically there's going to be like maybe 10 minutes in between the races, I guess, to switch vessels and switch personnel and do some coaching and whatnot. Again, this is very informal.
Yeah.
So, but there will be approximately 6 to 8 races.
Has Brevard County ever had like an event like this before, like an exhibition with these high quality D1 teams coming in here? Have we ever had anything?
You know
like
what?
this?
We have actually. In November of 2020, we hosted the Space Coast Challenge, which is a Division I basketball tournament held on the campus of Eastern Florida State College. There were, who participated in that? It was Clemson, Purdue, Mississippi State, and Liberty.
Wow.
And if I'm not mistaken, Clemson defeated Purdue in the finals. But I'll never forget just the extreme pride that I had, because I actually watched those games on cable television.
Yeah.
And just knowing, from a personal standpoint, I used to be the head coach at Brevard Community College, now Eastern Florida State College. So seeing the gym that I've actually spent so much time in as a head coach on cable, on national television, you know, it sparked a sense of pride in myself. And then also knowing that those programs are here in the Space Coast and they're just taking in everything that we have to offer, just to know that they're on our campus in Eastern Florida State College was very, very, meant a lot.
If you're just tuning in here on Space Coast Daily TV, we're here with the Sports Commissioner for the Space Coast Office of Tourism, Terry Parks here, and we're talking about this great event that we have this Saturday. It's the University of Tennessee and the University of Louisville host a scrimmage on Saturday, February 17th at Cape Crossings Resort and Marina in Merritt Island. And we're also going to be streaming our live coverage that we're going to have on Space Coast Daily TV on the TVs at Dolphins as well. That will be right on the water and right where the finish line is going to be. So it's going to be a great atmosphere. We're also going to have teams from some local high school teams and some other teams from Orlando that are also going to be coming here to be able to watch this event and see it in full motion. So it's going to be a great morning and afternoon.
Absolutely. Like
Hopefully the rain holds off.
Yeah, hope so. But again, we can't control that. So,
Right.
But like you said, this is a great opportunity for those teams at Louisville and Tennessee to reach out to these recruits down here in Florida and say, hey, we're going to be having a scrimmage up here. Why don't you come up and check us out and see what we have to offer as a program?
And I also think it's important to note, too, this is an opportunity for the Space Coast to really, show out and to show what we have and show what we can do. So we can get other events like this and very similar events. So this is a great opportunity for the Space Coast to be able to sell itself and put on a great event here that begins at 10:30 a.m. and it runs till noon. And so that'll be a very fun time. Well, Terry, I also want to talk about some of the other great things that you have going on at the Space Coast Office of Tourism. What other things you got coming up?
Oh, we have a lot of events. For people that don't know, we offer sports grants or support to event organizers to bring their events to the area.
Yeah.
Last week, we've had two great events, actually. We had the Columbia Classic, which is a golf tournament put on by Columbia University. They had teams come down and
Nice.
a Division I women's golf tournament. And then we also had the Florida Marathon weekend, road race down in Melbourne. This week we have the Moon Golf Invitational, another Division I women's golf tournament sponsored by the University of Louisville.
Wow.
And we have numerous events. National Junior College Division I women's golf tournament in May. We have the American Junior Golf Association Junior Championships coming up. We have, Gateway to Space road race put on by the American Cancer Society. So we just have a lot of events going on,
Yeah.
a lot of quality events that bring people to the Space Coast, again, because we want to sell this area as to, what the lifestyle is like. We have the weather, we have the beaches, we have attractions, the Kennedy Space Center, we have the Brevard Zoo.
Yeah.
We have schools, high quality schools between Edgewood, West Shore, great communities. We have a top 10 nationally ranked master planned community in Vieira. So we have a lot to offer anybody that's looking to bring their family here to the area and also to bring any events here to the area as well.
Florida is a really hot spot right now for a lot of people moving to just because of the weather and for other reasons. It's a great place here on the Space Coast here in Brevard County, and kind of a small town feel with big city vibes too. So
Absolutely.
we have it all here.
Absolutely, and you're close to Orlando, you're close to Daytona, you're close to Miami, you're close to Tampa, Jacksonville. So you're within a couple of hours of all of those destinations. So if you ever wanted to just get out for a day or so and come back home, you can do that.
Great opportunities to fish too around in this
That's
great community
correct.
as well. So we love our fishing here too.
That's right.
Well, Terry, thank you for taking time with Space Coast Daily. I really appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you more often, and we're going to get some more updates, and we look forward to you talking a little bit more of the Space Coast Office of Tourism and everything that's going on. And there's lots of stuff going on here on the Space Coast, and I know a lot of people will love to hear about all the great things that are going on here in the Space Coast.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much for Terry Parks and for Zach Clark here at Space Coast Daily TV. We want you to tune in. Saturday, we have this great broadcast of this exhibition between the University of Tennessee and University of Louisville. That'll be taking place at 10:30 a.m. and at the Cape Crossings Resort and Marina in Merritt Island. So we want you to tune in on that. We'll have great coverage here from beginning to end on that day, and we'll have some other great stuff here on Space Coast Daily TV coming up here. Well, for Zach Clark, Space Coast Daily, thank you very much for everything, and we will see you guys next time here on Space Coast Daily.
Get your business launched with Space Coast Daily through spacecoastdaily.com, Space Coast Daily social media, in print with Space Coast Daily newspaper and the magazine, as well as email blasts and the mobile app, and also at Space Coast Daily events. You can reach new customers every day. Get launched with Space Coast Daily and take your business to new heights. Call 321 323